Hey guys, welcome to the first tutorial of Level Up Your CSS Animation, in which you will learn all the basics about CSS animation that is very much essential in the day-to-day web development projects. And in this video tutorial, we will be covering CSS 2D transform, which is one of the most powerful property in the CSS, which help us to move, rotate, scale and skew the elements on our screen. So without any further ado, let's jump on the video. And in this video tutorial, we will be covering transform property, which is one of the most powerful 2D transform property that is used to translate element from one place to another. Let's see how we can do that. So here on the left side, we have the Visual Studio Editor, and on the right side, I have opened my browser. This is my dummy HTML code in which I have created two classes. The first is transform CSS. The second is transform box, and on the another file which is style.css, I have given all the CSS properties. It is very basic one. Right now there is not much things that is going around, but we will cover all these things in depth in our upcoming series. But right now we will stick with our transform and translate properties. So here inside the transform box class, which is this blue box, if I write here at line number 21 transform, and then here we can choose multiple things, like if we want to translate at the x direction, translate at the y direction, z direction, and bunch of other things. We can use matrix, rotate at a 3D, and scale, skew, multiple things that we can do. But right now we will stick with translate, and here I need to give the direction that where I need to translate it. I need to translate 100 pixel. Let's suppose if I write it 100 pixel, if I save it, you see it moved at the right direction, 100 pixel from the current position to the right direction. If I give it 200, then it will move further from the initial position. It will move further to the 200 pixel. And let's suppose if I'm doing this, like for example 40 pixel, then 100 pixel, and if I save this, it moves a little downward, right? So what these two things inside the translate is doing, it's like it will move 40 pixel to the right and then 100 pixel down from its current position. So you get it, 40 pixel to the right and 100 pixel down from its current position. So this is what translate is all about. And also we can use other things, like if we can use translate x at 100 pixel, for example, it will move to the 100 pixel from x direction. Then we can write y here, it will move 100 pixel from y direction, then from z direction. I mean, z direction is something that we cannot see right now because we are working on 2D. When we will cover 3D, then we will talk about it. So this is all about translate. The other important property of the transform is called rotate, which will help us to rotate our element at a certain direction. If I write transform rotate, then if I give any degree, like for example -50 DEG stands for degree, then you will see it got rotated at -50 degree, right? So it's very much, let's give it a little less. So see, right now we are rotating this element at -10 degree. It is an amazing property when we are dealing with hover, right? When we hover on the element and it rotate at certain degree, isn't it will be amazing, right? Another property that I want to discuss is called scale. Let me write it. So with the help of the scale method, we can increase or decrease the size of the element that we are using here. So for example, we have this rectangular box, so we can increase and decrease the scale, right? Let's suppose inside this, if I'm doing 4 value, it is too much, so let's give it a value of 1.4, right? So you see it got scaled up by 1.4 value. So based on our requirement in the project, we can use this, right? We can also use in a different way, like for example, instead of this single value, we can use this 2, not 2, let's say 1.4 and 1.6. so you will see a little difference here. So right now you can see the height and the width, they both got scaled. The first value is that it will become 1.4 times its original width, and the second is that it will become 1.6 times its original height. And another method that we can use it, like we can use, if we want to scale at a certain direction, like for example if I want to scale at the x direction, then it will get scaled at the x direction only. If we want to scale at y direction, then it will scale at a y direction only. So in this way we can use this property, and this is one of the most amazing and unique method of transform, which is called skew, SKEW. So if we give 10 degree at the skew value, so it will skew at the 10 degree. And there is one more method called matrix method. So what this matrix do is like it combines all the 2D animations method that we have used till now, like translate, rotate, scale, skew, in a one. So let me write down here. So here you can see in the matrix we can use scale x, skew y, skew x, scale y, translate, and in x direction, in the y direction. So let me show you how we can use this matrix property. So here let's say this is 1, sorry, this is 1, this is 2, and inside the CSS property, if I give transform matrix, and here based on the value, like for example here we have scale x, scale at x direction, skew in y direction, skew in x direction. So let's give a property here. Oh god, it just get ruined. In some way you got the point what I was trying to say. So with the help of this matrix we can combine all the 2D transform method in just one go. Let's work with little example, like whatever we have studied till now, let's use that in the real life scenario. Let's suppose this is an element, and if I hover over it, and this will make some kind of changes, right? So here, like let's suppose dot transform box, then if I give it a property of like hover, I want to, let's use this, right? Transform a scale of 1.4. okay, if I hover over it, it is getting transformed, right? That's good, it is getting scaled up. But right now we don't like this abrupt scaling, right? We want it to be smooth, we want it to be like in a transition way. So like transform, we had to use transition for the smooth transition from one point to another. For that we can use, like in the transform box we can write transition, and inside this we will use all the property that we need, all the property we need to implement this. Then point, let's suppose 4 seconds, and it should be ease in out, right? And there are a bunch of other things that you can use. You can use ease in, you can ease out, everything. So you see the difference. If I hover over it, we are having a smooth transition here, and it is very extremely helpful when you are building a text where you have different types of buttons, different types of components. We can also use a rotate property here. Instead of scaling, we want to rotate it, right? So if I hover over it, you see, so nice, easy, and so powerful it is. Nothing rocket science. So in this way we have covered all the properties of 2D transform. So right now we are doing all this thing in 2D, right? When I hover over it, it is getting rotated by -10 degree, but in 2D. What if we want to do that in 3D? I think that's the chapter for the next tutorial. So see you in the next tutorial. Till then, adios.